This train doesn't touch the ground. It has no wheels. It has no engine in the traditional sense. It floats 10 millimeters above the track, held up by nothing but magnets, and it moves at 600 kilometers per hour. That's faster than a Boeing 737 at cruising altitude. China has built it. They've tested it. And if they deploy it, domestic flights within China become pointless. This is the world's fastest ground vehicle. Maglev stands for magnetic levitation. The principle is simple. The execution is anything but. Every maglev system uses two sets of magnets. One set lifts the train off the track, the other propels it forward. The lifting magnets work on a basic principle, like poles repel. Powerful electromagnets in the track repel magnets in the train's undercarriage, pushing it upward. The train floats 10 millimeters above the guideway, a gap thinner than a pencil. The propulsion magnets create a traveling magnetic wave along the track, like a surfer riding an invisible wave. The magnets ahead pull the train forward while the magnets behind push it. No physical contact, no friction, no wear. The only thing slowing the train down is air resistance. And at 600 kilometers per hour, air resistance becomes the entire engineering challenge. The concept of maglev has existed since the 1960s. Germany built a test track. Japan built a prototype that hit 603 kilometers per hour in 2015. But neither country deployed maglev at scale. China is about to change that. In 2021, the China Railway Rolling Stock Corporation, CRRC, unveiled a 600 kilometers per hour maglev prototype in Qingdao. This is not a concept. This is a real train, tested on a real track built for commercial deployment. China's version uses high-temperature superconducting magnets, a technology more efficient and powerful than what Japan or Germany ever deployed. These magnets maintain their strength with minimal energy input, making the system practical for long-distance routes. What does 600 kilometers per hour actually mean for passengers? Shanghai to Beijing. 2.5 hours by maglev versus 4.5 hours by bullet train versus 2 hours by plane. But add airport check-in, security, boarding and taxi time, and the plane takes 4 hours door-to-door. The maglev wins. Every time. Making a train float is the easy part. Making it safe at 600 kilometers per hour is where it gets terrifying. At that speed, the air in front of the train compresses like a wall. The nose of the train hits air with forces comparable to a Category 1 hurricane. Engineers spent years perfecting the aerodynamic shape. Every curve, every angle designed to split the air with minimum resistance. The track must be perfectly straight. A curve that a normal train handles at 200 kilometers per hour would be catastrophic at 600. Even a gentle bend requires a curve radius of over 10 kilometers. That means the track essentially has to be a straight line, cutting through mountains, bridging valleys, tunneling under cities. Switching, how the train changes tracks, required entirely new technology. Normal trains switch by moving physical rails, but maglev has no rails. Engineers developed a system where entire sections of guideway physically shift position, a 100-ton section of track sliding sideways to redirect the train. And then there's the noise. At 600 kilometers per hour, the train creates a sonic shockwave similar to a low-flying jet. Sound barriers along the entire route are mandatory. Communities near the track would hear a constant rumble. If maglev is so fast, why isn't every country building one? One word: money. A maglev line costs roughly 3 to 4 times more per kilometer than conventional high-speed rail. The guideway requires manufacturing tolerances measured in fractions of a millimeter, over hundreds of kilometers. A regular train track can be maintained with basic equipment. A maglev guideway needs precision engineering for its entire lifespan. You can't upgrade existing rail tracks to maglev. The entire infrastructure, Tracks, stations, power systems, switching mechanisms must be built from scratch. It's not an upgrade, it's a replacement. Japan learned this the hard way. Their planned Chuo-Shinkansen Maglev line from Tokyo to Osaka was supposed to open in 2027. It's now delayed to at least 2034. The budget has ballooned past $100 billion. Legal battles with local communities over tunnel construction have stalled progress for years. And the only operating commercial maglev in the world, the Shanghai Maglev, built with German Transrapid technology, runs just 30 kilometers from the airport to the city. It cost $1.2 billion. Per kilometer, it's one of the most expensive rail lines ever built. Despite the cost, China is moving forward. Proposed routes include Shanghai to Hangzhou, Guangzhou to Shenzhen, and Chengdu to Chongqing. If approved, construction could begin within the next 2 to 3 years. China's advantage is unique. No other country has the combination of massive population density between cities that are 200 to 1,000 kilometers apart, a government that can approve construction without decades of legal challenges, an existing manufacturing base that produces the components domestically, and the political will to spend hundreds of billions on infrastructure. For routes between 200 and 1,000 kilometers, Maglev occupies a sweet spot. Too short for a flight to be efficient, too long for a car to be practical. This is the distance range where 600 kilometers per hour ground transport is unbeatable. And China has dozens of city pairs in this range, with hundreds of millions of potential passengers. China isn't stopping at 600 kilometers per hour. They're already testing the next step: vacuum tube transport. The concept? Put a maglev train inside a partially evacuated tube. Remove most of the air and you remove most of the air resistance. The theoretical speed: over 1,000 kilometers per hour, faster than the speed of sound. Chinese researchers have tested small-scale prototypes in vacuum tubes at over 600 kilometers per hour, in a tube just 2 kilometers long. Scaling this to hundreds of kilometers would require solving problems that don't yet have solutions. Maintaining a near vacuum across a 500-kilometer tube, building airlocks at stations, ensuring passenger safety in a depressurized environment. But if they solve it? Beijing to Shanghai in 30 minutes, Shanghai to Guangzhou in an hour. The entire country connected at the speed of sound. It sounds like science fiction. But 10 years ago, so did a 600 kilometers per hour floating train. The Maglev story is really a story about ambition. Germany invented it. Japan perfected it. Neither deployed it at scale. China is about to take a technology that others abandoned and turn it into the future of transportation. If it works, it won't just change how Chinese people travel. It will make high-speed rail the standard that every other country measures itself against. Just as China's conventional high-speed rail network, already the largest in the world at over 40,000 kilometers, forced other nations to reconsider their own rail investments. A working 600 kilometers per hour, Maglev will reset expectations globally. The question for every other country becomes, if China can move people at 600 kilometers per hour on the ground, why are we still sitting in traffic? 600 kilometers per hour. No wheels, no friction, just magnets and ambition. If you want to see more impossible engineering, subscribe and watch this next. Engineers have been trying to connect Africa and Europe for over 100 years. Every attempt has failed. The link is right here.